And tonight, the betting of the president continues as we bring you another edition of The Real Obama. Now, in this installment, we shine the spotlight on an executive order that the White House was hoping that you would never learn about. Now, the president signed the National Defense Resources Preparedness Executive Order late Friday afternoon. And since that time, now the measure has been virtually ignored by the mainstream media. Now, the order essentially gives the president of the United States absolute power over any and all American resources during both times of peace and national crisis. Now, this includes, but is not limited to, food and livestock, water, plants, energy, health resources, transportation, and construction materials, and gives the government the ability to, quote, control the general distribution of any material, including applicable services, in the civilian market. Now, White House Press Secretary Jay Carney laughed off a question about
you to vote on the news, and here's the winner. There's a huge hidden heavenly body right here in our solar system. Evidence is mounting that either a brown dwarf star or a gas giant planet is lurking at the outermost reaches of our solar system, far beyond the planet Pluto. According to the British newspaper The Independent, the object is 4 times the size of Jupiter. Experts say the presence of such a massive object could explain why a barrage of comets has been coming from that direction.
Claim that we have been saying for the last 15 years that Planet X would be coming. Well, all we can tell you is that we have been waiting for 3,600 years for its return. A planet which is 5 times the size of Earth, that moves in a retrograde orbit. This isn't going to be the type of planet that travels at a rapid pace across our solar system. Then again, if the planet were visible to the naked eye, would you then believe? We will tell you this, that the world is beginning to see a period of great tribulation, and the arrival of Planet X may come much sooner than any of us would have imagined. Now, we are not trying to be fear-mongers or alarmists. There are already too many of them out there. We are just trying to present common sense evidence to the public. So here are some of the things we know for sure. Earth changes are increasing dramatically worldwide. In fact, since 2012, earthquake and volcanic activity has risen on a phenomenal level. Volcanoes are approaching 40 preliminary stages of Earth's axis shift. The evidence of this can be seen in this photo taken after the earthquake, in which Kyushu Island in southern Japan was devastated. The drone footage you are about to see is absolutely astonishing. While watching this, it is difficult to believe the extent of the devastation that has taken place on Japan's southern island. In late April, a magnitude 6.5 earthquake was quickly followed by a magnitude 7.3 earthquake just 28 hours later. Those earthquakes made headlines all over the globe. But why was there such tremendous damage? Well, it turns out that those 2 major quakes worked in conjunction with more than 600 smaller quakes to cause historic devastation all across Kyushu. As you are about to see, giant fissures have opened up in the ground right along a fault line that runs directly across Japan's southern island. And this has a lot of people extremely alarmed. Once a major disaster falls out of the news, the rest of the world tends to forget about it. But for those on Kyushu, this crisis is far from over. Authorities are still scrambling to rescue those that have been stranded by the recent earthquakes. And at this point, it is a race against time.
this is the arrow obviously pointing to it. But there are 3 dots on here. One is red, one is green, one is blue.
Right.
What's significant?
So this is the actual discovery image. Basically, 2 astronomers were looking one little patch of sky very, very far away, looking for exactly this kind of thing. Stars don't move. Planets or anything that's like a planet does. So this is color-coded. This is what they saw on different nights. They're looking for one thing moving. They color-coded it to show that all these stars are staying still. This thing is moving, and the way it's moving...
So this is just one...
It's one object, color-coded.
Is Pluto on this?
Pluto's in a whole different part of the sky.
So this is unbelievable. Why does this matter, Corey?
Well, there are 2 ways you can look at it. I think I look at it, first of all, as an exploration question. That we know where we are on Earth. We've mapped our planet. Our solar system is still terra incognita. It's full of surprises. This object is something that astronomers said shouldn't even be there. There's a whole other solar system beyond the planets that we know that are full of these things that are sort of planets, sort of comets. Some of them they call dwarf planets. That's what they're calling this one. What we're seeing is we're seeing our neighborhood. We're seeing what's around us. And then the second part is we're seeing where we came from.
Mm-hmm. What is a dwarf planet?
So a dwarf planet, the fact that you hear weird terms like that is actually scientists saying there are things out there we don't really understand. It's a dwarf planet is kind of a catch-all term for something. It's round like a planet. It sort of looks like a planet, but it doesn't orbit in a regular way like all the planets that we knew growing up.
Would this be part of our solar system?
So it's part of our solar system.
Would it be outside?
It's a whole new zone. They're calling it the inner Oort cloud. You don't really need to know that. All you need to know is there really are these 2 solar systems. There's the solar system with the classical planets, and then there's this whole other zone that we haven't explored. Mm-hmm. And now they're saying because of how this new dwarf planet moves, that there may actually be an even bigger planet, something bigger than the Earth.
I guess that's the point I was going to, because you study this all the time. Is that why it's so significant? Because there's more beyond that?
There's more beyond that, and then there's more beyond that. I mean, I think what we're seeing is,
okay.
If you watch the show Cosmos, I've been kind of glued to that. And in the last episode, they were talking about the discovery of comets and the discovery of our place in the solar system. We're still learning that.
300 miles from the North Pole in Norway, there's a seed vault called Svalbard. It contains the seed of nearly every plant variety in the world. Often called the Doomsday Vault, it is used as a last resort in case a region suffers from a catastrophic event, wiping out its food supply. No seeds have ever been removed from the vault, but serious war may change that. The Norway Vault is like the Noah's Ark of the world's food supply. It contains duplicate samples from the regional seed banks located around the globe. The U.S., for instance, has 800,000 seed deposits in a lab in Fort Collins, Colorado. The facility that stores much of the Middle East's seed supply has been based in Aleppo, Syria. It contains the most valuable collection of barley in the world. The facility's international researchers fled the war in 2012. Those researchers are now asking for the Doomsday Vault to be opened so they can start over in Beirut. This would be the first withdrawal from the Doomsday Vault. If anything happens to the seeds, once they're released, much of the region's biodiversity could go extinct.